In today's video, we'll be taking a look at my wildlife camera live streaming setup. We'll start outside with the cameras I've got outside. So we've got the, we'll get to the PT SID camera in a second. First of all, have a look at the camera setup I've got in my bird nest box. So you can see this is the sort of outside view. I've got a bit of a chunky cable junction box there, but you can see it's a BNC connector there, but that's where all the sort of cables live on the outside. And if you take a look at what's on the inside of this nest box, I've got a Green Feathers Bird Box HD camera. So it's one that is a one of these, well, like all my cameras are 4-in-1, so you can do AHD, TVI, CVI, or CVBS. I tend to use TVI because it seems to give the best picture from what I can tell anyway. But yeah, so essentially it could do 1080p up to 30 frames a second. So yeah, it's a nice little camera, as you can see. And I've also got in there a microphone as well, which the power sort of daisy chains off the main feed. So the feed coming in, you saw from the outside, you've got a BNC video cable, power cable, which is a DC power cable from the adapter in the garage, and a audio cable as well, which is all on the same cable. Well, yeah, sort of split. So yeah, so the audio goes for the microphone in this case, and there's also a light as well, which from the outside view would have seen this like a little sensor, so it'll detect if it's daytime, the light is off. As soon as it starts getting dark, sorry, no, I'll say that again. If it's daytime, the light is on, so it gives a colour view, and then as soon as it starts getting dark, the light turns off, so it will switch to infrared. But it gives you the nice sort of colour images in the daytime, sort of similar to what you find on the likes of Springwatch. But yeah, so that's the sort of setup for the Nestbox camera. Let's move on now to the that big PT SID camera you saw before, and this is a Concept Pro 2 megapixel AHD 20x PT SID camera with can do TVI as well. So it's quite a nice one. I got picked up for about 150 quid second hand of eBay. They're normally like 400 or 500 quid. But yeah, it can do 1080p, 30. Like I said, same. I when it has TVI mode. So got the cable going into there, which provides the video, power, and the audio cable I use for the RS485 serial. Control for the PT SID, which we'll show you a bit later as well. But yeah, the camera's got 20 times optical zoom. Obviously it's PT SID. It takes 24 volt power, so it's quite a chunky one. Yeah, so it is a really nice camera, and we'll see the pictures later on. If we move on to the other camera I've got, this is sort of like an unbranded one I bought from Spy CCTV, same place I got the Birdbox camera from. Again, this is I think it's got a 10 times zoom on it, but it's you can see with a junky cable box down there with all the connections on it. So yeah, you got network cable that's doing power and serial, sort of break it out, 2 junction boxes, and then I've got a BNC for the video. But yeah, the junky sort of connection box there. That's all sort of feeds back to the garage, but like the other camera, this camera can do it. I've got it set to TVI 1080p 30, and all my cameras, the quality is sort of uncompressed. It's analog HD essentially. So it's with both the PT SID cameras I've got now, I've got really good coverage of the whole garden. As you can see, it's the range you got on the PT SID, especially the big one's got the 20 times zoom, is really cool. So that's a few of the cameras from the outside. So next, let's hop into the garage and have a look at where all the cables go into. Okay, so we looked at the cameras outside. Now we come into the garage, aka data center, see where all the feeds come in. So there's a big mess of cables up there, but basically all the feeds come in here, and then I've got a BNC patch panel there, so that's where all the video feeds come in, and then got some power, and then there's the bit with the janky control for the RS 485. So it's all broken out a phono cable, and then that goes into well, some stuff that goes into some joiner boxes there to transfer it to Cat 5, Cat 6 cable, and that gets patched into the house, which you'll see in a bit. So all the BNC cables, so some go into this DVR. So this is my primary CCTV DVR. I've got a couple of cameras going into there. So the big PTC camera you saw, and also the Bird Box camera. And then this little shelf here. So I've got one of these, we've got a couple of these sort of converter boxes, that convert BNC, AHD, TVI, etc. into HDMI, but they don't produce quite a good picture. I find that the pictures is, not as good as you get from the HDMI output from the DVR. So that's why I bought another DVR, which I'll show you in a second. Next to here is a couple of HDBASE-T transmitters. So this is basically HDMI over one Cat 6, including PoE. These are powered from the house, which you'll see later on. So I've got two of these. So I could have two full HD HDMI feeds into the from here into the house, which is really good, and it is pretty much full quality as well. So this is the second DVR, primarily just for my camera. So I've got my PTZ camera I showed you connected into this one, and I got this the other day off eBay. Got it for about a tenner delivered. It was sold as faulty, spares and repairs type thing, wasn't powering up. It was quite an easy fault to identify. It was essentially a dodgy plug, adapter, PSC, whatever you want to call it. I just swapped it out with another one. I got plenty here. 12 volt 1.5 amp, center positive, and it sprang into life, which is excellent. Did have to deal with Annke support because it was locked down, obviously, to the previous owner. But they were really good. Managed to do this manual thing of connect to the Wi-Fi network, export an XML file, and then the Annke support were really good, by the way. They gave me the reset key file back, so I've got full access to it now, so that's excellent. But yeah, I think that's basically it from in here. So basically, yeah, there's two feeds from these two DVRs go into these. And the good thing is I managed to get pretty much clean feed out of them. This one, because it's my primary CCTV, you do get the yellow triangle thing in the bottom left when it detects motion on any of the other cameras. But this one, because I've not got recording set to it, is completely clean feed, which is really good. So I might see if I can exchange another one of these or two, because they're really good. Yeah, that's all the power for them. But yeah. Okay, so here we are in the my office now in the main house. So this is where all the feeds come in. So they come in for the Cat 6 patch panel there. So all these three ports are used for my live stream setup. So the first two are the HDBASE-T. So it's all from the transmitters from the garage. So there we are, HDMI with Cat 6. So we've got one feed on port 17 there, one on 18. And then the other one, 19, is the one that brings in the RS485 serial connection from the both the cameras. So that's obviously mixed down into a single pair. That gets patched through here, and that gets patched into another port I'll show you in a second in the office. So the you can see the receivers for the HDBASE-Ts there. Like I said, they're quite nice little units. See, they power over Ethernet, so I power them from this end here. So you can see I've got all my plugs there. So I've got two HDBASE-Ts, and I've got a HDMI sort of splitter somewhere around the back there as well. But yeah, so they're powered from this end, and then going the other end, they don't need to be powered as you saw earlier. So from there, the HDMI cables run down through there into my main trunk, and then I've got various HDMI ports over here, and they are bringing the feeds in. So we've got the two feeds here from the two cameras, and obviously networking as well for various things. And I've got one of those network ports over here is used for the RS485, so that goes into another junky coupler, and then into the main control place. So yeah, this is where it all comes into. So here we are. This is where all of the fun stuff happens. Let's take a closer look. So we're taking a closer look at the stuff here. So all the HDMIs we see in the coming from the garage, etc., all come into the brains of the operation, which is a black vanity design ATEM Mini Pro. So I've got a couple of these. The main one, reason being is if I'm lucky enough to get any birds nesting in the bird box, I can have one permanently streaming that one, that camera, and then keep this another one to stream, like the bird feeds and stuff like that. But quite a nice neat little units really. So got the box here to show you. On the back, you got the sort of power input, network. You got USB out as well, and you've got 4 HDMI inputs and 1 HDMI output on these ones. I did used to have the extreme model, which is got like 8 inputs and 2 outputs and stuff like that. But in the end, I sold that and thought we better what I need to have 2 ATEM Mini Pros, to give me that sort of flexibility in it. But no, the really neat little units. You can see, all the stuff it can do on here. The main thing it's got on here is its built-in encoder. So the idea is when I do my daily wildlife streams, it's all built into here. I don't have to boot up a computer or anything like that. Just load up the YouTube studio stream and then press the on air button, away you go. Because I've got it all programmed, so when I switch it on in the morning, it's on the settings I want it to be on. So it's quite good. So you can see we're streaming at the moment. And then what we've got here, this is the PT-SED controller. So I've got a network cable going into the positive and negative there, doing the feed. So as you've seen in the garage, we've got 2 cameras for RS485 going down 1 Cat6 into the house here. So this is where I can control the camera, so I can move it up and down, zoom out, zoom in, all that good stuff. So that's on camera 2, but then what I can do is I can press camera 1, and now I'm controlling camera 1. There we go, bit of manual focus. But yeah, it's really good. I can control everything from here. You can even get into sort of the the hidden menus and everything like that from here. So it's it's really good. Only about 20 quid from eBay as well. So yeah, really pleased with that. This is the you can see this is the multi-view. This is the output from the from the ATEM Mini Pro. So you can have the video out set to different things. So you can go onto like an individual camera if you want. or you can set it to program, or you can set it to multi-view. So yes, it's I normally have it on multi-view for obvious, things, the overview of things, what's output. So obviously standard thing, preview on the left, program on the right. Then your 4 HDMI sources, your media player, which is on a downstream Kia, which got switched off. I'll show you that in a second. And then see I'm on there streaming, so you can see I'm streaming at 45 megabit a second, up to YouTube. You can record, so it's got a USB-C port. You can plug a SSD into it, etc., and you can start recording. I've done that before, it's quite good. And then your Fairlight audio controls there. I don't use audio. Main reason being, so live audio is tricky because obviously I'm in a built-up area. We don't want to be, for privacy reasons, we'd be picking up neighbours. I don't want to be picking up me on there, stuff like that. So it's that's why I don't do live and recorded audio. I've had lots of copyright claims, even if I'm transmitting my own recorded audio of bird song or whatever, wildlife sounds. YouTube's overzealous copyright matching tool keeps matching it to things, and it just became a pain. So that's why I don't do audio, unfortunately. But there we go. And over at the moment on my main screen, I've got OBS. So this is what I use if I want to do play any sort of VTs from there. So I can output this to the computer, see that input there, but it's not sort of hooked up at the moment. But I can do that if I want. So yeah, I use OBS, as I said, for playing VTs and stuff. And then over on this screen is the ATEM software control. So this can run over network, or if you've got a USB connected to it directly, you can do it through that. But at the moment I'm running it through the network. This is what gives you all of the controls for the ATEM Mini. So, like for example, I can turn on the downstream Kia. You can see, I've got the graphics now on screen. You can do all the switching inputs, and you've got the fader there, stuff like that. It's quite nice. This is where you can do like all the advanced stuff, on here. So, but all the settings, etc., and everything like that. But yeah, like I said, I use Blackmagic's, what's it called? I use Blackmagic's medium. I use Hyperdeck medium for quality, up to YouTube. Just try to get it in without. There we go. So yeah. So I stream at 1080-60 and Hyperdeck medium. The reason I do 1080-60, even though in the UK I'd love to do 1080-50, but YouTube doesn't support it for live streams. It auto converts it to 60, which obviously causes frame rate issues if I've not got my stuff set up. So I've got everything set to NTSC standard, because we're all American, aren't we? So there we go. But yeah, that is a look at my live stream setup. Hope you enjoy this video, and be sure to catch the next one. Cheers, bye.